So I'm going to continue with Genesis. We did some covering of Genesis 1 1 through 5. And if you really just want to read it and spend time in it and prayerfully, people are so trained in tradition, and there is a spirit of the age that has gone forward and forward and forward to make everything be all about the redemption of mankind, setting up the devil and his angels as the arch enemies of all mankind. But you ignore the fact that the Lord said in John that Judas was a devil. So it's it's there's some kind of a blockage in the brains of humans where people just cannot see the truth that according to God, and just even thinking about it, just becoming consciously aware, it's quite obvious that God the Son is God in spirit incarnate, made a man. And once you realize that, what is blocking you from realizing that the whole host of angels is likewise being made human, and that Genesis is a realm of the incarnation of the pre existent angelic race and God Himself, and it is an address of correction to the problem of the fall of the third part of the angels. Obviously, there could be no salvation for angels so long as they remain disembodied. But remaining disembodied is the problem that is corrected by the solution of creation of Genesis and the human race. It's it's really quite logical and obvious, but it is inconceivable to humans for a reason that is irrational. It is fully irrational, and it is people acting crazy to have wild emotional reactions and blocking out of their mind that, oh, this could not be. Once you've realized that God the Son is God in spirit, made a man by incarnation, why isn't it obvious? That blockage is irrational. I guess I will talk about it just a little bit. Just try to be logical, try to break through the blinding power of the fall of man. The only blinding power could explain why this is not obvious to you. Point number one, every Christian knows that the Lord is God the Son made a man. So we know that his spirit is the spirit of God incarnated in human flesh. So we know that human beings are spirit, soul, and body, and God the Son in spirit is God made a man. Well, who are the rest of us? I mean, why can't we just be logical? Why is this so inconceivable, and why does it cause a hissy fit? Why does it cause people to flip out or blank out or disassociate? Why can't we just be logical and rational and think objectively instead of being so shallow and superficial and so worldly minded and so fixated upon ourselves in this world, in this time? Why can't we be spiritual enough and objective enough to consider the bigger picture? God being made a man is our proof of concept. So we know that it's obvious that God the Son being made a man means that human beings are persons in spirit who have pre-existed. God pre-existed. It's just that simple. And so, as human beings, our spirits cannot come from dirt. Our spirits come from a spiritual realm. Dirt does not beget spirit. Spirit begets spirit. And in the Bible, we're told about the children of God and the children of the devil. They're two separate spiritual realities. And John 8 tells us that the reprobate who die in their sins are children of the devil, whose spirit man has come from below. But the children of God, when God is their Father, their spirits come from above, even as God the Son came from above. So we're obviously, the saints are obviously the holy angels in spirit, incarnate, being made human, and we're having a human experience here. And the reason that it's logical is because it's the only way of redemption for the fallen angels. They must have a body, and they must have a body within a realm of redemption in which God himself can take on a body and die for the sins of all the world, of this creation, and die on the cross and then rise bodily from the dead to destroy the power of sin. And that is the way of redemption. So that the spirits that were once the holy angels, that are the fallen angels, can be reborn into human bodies. But of course, as I reviewed on the last tape, they cannot make a decision, for God, because in spirit, they're in a state of full blasphemy. Now, just because their spirits are in a state of full blasphemy doesn't mean that they have in totality, blasphemed the Holy Spirit as human beings, because their souls are not fully filled with the spirit of the devil, that which is the total blasphemy. The God is restraining that manifestation of evil from within them, or they would all run around in a state of full blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, which is going to happen in the very end of days. In the very end of days, we the saints will transfigure here on American soil, because this is the soil of protection of the city on a hill. See John Winthrop, 1630 writing, City on a Hill, if you're not familiar with that historical document. But we the saints will transfigure on American soil, and then the 666B system, that is the Great Tribulation, is that all of the wicked are also going to fully blaspheme the Holy Spirit at that time. It's according to nature. It's according to spiritual nature. They are the children of the devil. Their spirit man has come from Hades. They were pre-existent fallen angels. And God does love them. He created them as humans. He's taking them through a plan of redemption. And it's a multi-stage, multi-phase plan. But on the last day, when the Lord bodily returns and they are bodily resurrected, that's when the Lord will destroy all evil out of the Genesis creation. So he will destroy the spirits of the devils that are their human spirits, and then they will be reborn in spirit as the children of God, in the equivalency of the rest of us who are born of God's Spirit and who were pre-existent holy angels, so that in the end, all is as if there was never any fall. It goes on, it's a little bit more in depth than that if we wanted to go into the full resolution of the end of all things. But it's basically not this simplistic blind spot of, well, we're just humans here, and all humanity is going through a process of either being born again or not being born again, and then on the last day there are people who are saved, and then there are this third part who are unregenerate. And it's bigger than that. This is just, being human is just a phase of God's plan, and being in this second creation is just a phase of God's plan. Because if you see at the end of this age, when day and night here ends forever on this, in this Genesis creation, New Jerusalem is going to come down from heaven, and these two creations are going to be merged as one. So this is a whole process of the original heaven all the population of the original heaven going through a second realm of redemption, so that the entire population of heaven becomes human and experiences the fullness of redemption of the human race by God, by his redemption. And then once all humanity is redeemed, then the two dimensions can merge as one, and the end result is the full population of the original heaven is once again the children of God fully redeemed, just as if the fall of the devil and his angels had never happened, because there will be no more devil and demons. They will be redeemed as humans, and so they will no longer exist, and hell will no longer exist. There will be no more pain, no more sorrow, no more sin, no more death, no more hell. All of it will be gone. There will be no more devils. All of that evil, all of that darkness will be gone. And just as God said in the beginning of this creation, let there be light, the end result is that light will overcome and the darkness will be no more. The darkness will be destroyed and be no more. All will be redeemed. All will be restored. And that is God's plan. And the thing about it is that I'm trying to tell you that if you want to see the face of God, you need to see the eternal whole counsel plan of God. And you need to understand that God created male and female fully equal, so that you know that God is perfect divine love. He's not going to leave anyone in hell. He's done everything out of this his own goodness of let there be light, and he does not exalt men above women to degrade women. Male pride can stand to be exalted, even though it diminishes and degrades women, so that man says, I'm up, you're down, woman. Woman is down, so man can be up. And isn't that what the umbrella diagram shows? Man fully up above woman, and woman fully down under man. And so man in his pride wants to be exalted above women, and doesn't care and tries to rationalize and justify why it's okay to degrade women. Well, she wants to submit to me. Why would she want to? She has a spirit and soul and body of her own. She wants to be a full human being, a full person, and in that sense, fully equal to you. We understand that male and female is different, but we also understand that there's a difference between men. Some men are taller than other men. So are some men less than other men because they're not as tall? What are this is ridiculous and ludicrous to say that based upon physical differences, some are up and some are down, and God created life this way. No, he loves all of us equally. He loves his daughters equally with his sons, and he's created us all equal. And so we have equal dominion. So, Christians just need to start to see the face of God by understanding the truth and the reality of God's eternal whole counsel plan, and that he created women, as he says in Genesis 1, as the full equals of men. God is not going to say to men, you're up, and say to women, you're down, because that degradation of women is hateful. That is absolutely hateful. And men trying to justify it to say, well, I'm going to take care of you, this, that, and the other. You're diminishing and degrading her humanity and her equality, and you're patronizing her. Do you want a man who is taller than you and physically stronger than you to say, well, I'm going to take care of you, so it's okay that I'm up and you're down, and that I take from you your rights and your equality, and I diminish your humanity and make you my slave, and you will submit to me, mister? No, you should know better than that. Well, understand, women are people too, and we're just as much human as men, and we were not created for submission, we were created for dominion. To understand these things is how to see the face of God, because God himself is perfect love. He's fair, he's just, he does not play favorites. God bless you.